Welcome back to Sunday Vibes, one and all, but don't panic just yet. This is not a crackhead who's wandered in off the street. As Pato said earlier, stealing his joke, we invited him in, yes. James Wayne, the only man I've ever seen on Eurofootball Daily, mate, get a positive reception from the off.
What can I say? What can I say? Thanks for giving me the shirt. I mean, the dirty shirt I brought in wasn't quite up to scratch, so supply me with this one.
Yeah, absolute val. And Patrick Van Straten, as he always is sat in the middle of us. This is a show where we answer your questions, and the first one comes from Barney the Donut, who says, considering the lack of money he spent compared to Guardiola and Mourinho, is Pochettino the best manager in the Premier League? Ooh, it's a tough one. Van Straten, you're stretching, you're cracking knuckles, that's excitement in his veins. What's happening?
I think, in a sense, he is. I think in terms of value over what you've got, he's the best in the Premier League. Okay, so put it this way, if you had just like 11 kind of faceless average players, right, and you gave them to Guardiola, to Conte, to Mourinho, to Pochettino, the manager who would do best with them, I think, is probably Pochettino. If you look at the value he's got out of players who I didn't rate before, I think Kyle Walker, I knew he was talented, but I didn't think he was this good. Danny Rose, the same. You know, Eric Dyer, even Moussa Sissoko, he's getting value out of at the moment. And it's because he's got a system which actually makes players better and it makes the team more than the sum of their parts. Ooh. Whereas Pep, I think Pep probably has the highest ceiling as a manager. Like the best Pep football is better than the best football of pretty much any other manager. True. However, he needs very specific talent to kind of enact his plan. Whereas Pochettino, I reckon you could give him average players who had very good fitness and he would just get reasonably good results, as we saw at Southampton.
James Wayne, you're obviously a Manchester City fan, so please do give us that biased opinion.
I'm obviously biased, and I'm going to say Pep is the best manager in the Premier League. I think what you were saying before, if you give him 11 faceless players, I think you can only say who is better, obviously, with that experiment, which is impossible to do. But I think Pep, he does get the best out of some players you wouldn't expect, similar to Pochettino. You look at Delph. Sure. I thought his career was over at City. He's turned him into a pretty confident left back.
Great point, yeah.
I think the fact that they're very similar in age is quite a decent point in this. You see what Pep's actually earned in his career, the trophies. I know it's an obvious point. Pochettino hasn't earned anything. And he's done amazing things like Espanyol, taking them from like relegation, mid-table, beating Barcelona, Pep's Barcelona. I don't know, it's very hard to quantify, but I am biased in this and I will say Pep, personally.
Everybody at home expected me to jump in here with Mourinho. I actually don't think Jose Mourinho. I think Jose Mourinho is the fourth best manager in the league at this point.
Fourth best?
Yeah, I think Pochettino, for me, which I'll explain in a second, is the best in the league. Pep Guardiola, and then Conte, and then Mourinho.
Conte is a guy we haven't really talked about.
We haven't talked about Antonio Conte, but I just think that Antonio Conte has that little bit of genius about him. He's a little bit of a madman, and I like that, the maverick nature of him, but it doesn't make him the best. I think the reason I like Pochettino is he combines brilliant tactics with fantastic man management in a squad that's cost very little. He's built effectively himself. Obviously some of the players were there before he started, but the growth in players under him, not just at Tottenham but at Southampton as well, but in particular at Tottenham, Harry Kane's growth has been exponential. Get that in your dictionary corner. Dele Alli, what a player he is now. Christian Eriksen, okay, a great creator at Ajax, but the levels he's hitting now at Tottenham Hotspur. Moussa Dembele, he's gone up about 4 gears. Some people call him the best central midfielder in the league.
And arguably Liverpool's best player is also the product of Pochettino's coaching, right?
It's incredible. You look at Philippe Coutinho and what he's done. I mean, Pochettino with Philippe Coutinho obviously managed him at Espanyol, I believe, did he?
Ooh. 2 of them, yeah, Mane and Coutinho. That's amazing. That's a great bit of knowledge.
I don't know whether he did, don't confirm it, but I think he did manage Coutinho at Espanyol. But anyway, imagine Coutinho in a team managed by Pochettino. It would be unbelievable. I would love it. And the defence as well. We talked about it a little bit on the 12 Man Live on Facebook on Wednesday, but that defence that Tottenham Hotspur have built is silently, potentially the second best in the league behind Man United. Davinson Sanchez, what a brilliant acquisition. When he first joined, I think everybody thought he's a little bit raw. Is he ready to start consistently in the Premier League when he's only had 1 season in the Eredivisie with Ajax? And he has hit the ground running. Obviously, we've seen that Alderweireld and Vertonghen and the Till have been absolutely killing it this year and have started every single game. My God, there's a lot of coinage going on. But Davinson Sanchez, to fit into the part of that team is brilliant. Then the wing backs as well.
Compare Sanchez's start to like Lindelof's start at Man United. And that's in a really solid... I mean, Mourinho, no one can argue, Mourinho builds a fantastic defensive structure. So how does he do that? Even Kevin Wimmer, they got rid of Kevin Wimmer this summer. But every time I saw him at Spurs as well, he looked pretty good. And it's just because they've got a really solid... Ben Davies looks great. What's going on?
The classic example is Kevin Wimmer looked solid under Pochettino. At Stoke have conceded the most goals in the entire Premier League, 20 this season, and he's looked an absolute shambles alongside Kurt Zouma.
So you and I sort of agree here.
I think Pochettino is the best
in the league.
I think there's one thing for me that just pips him from being it, and it's the end of the season. We saw it because we had Man United, Man City, Arsenal and Chelsea all bottle it for the season where Leicester won it, and fair play to Leicester. But I think Tottenham should have seen that as their opportunity, and they've completely fell off at the end of the season. Man management, I can't deny that he's a great manager, but when it really counted, that was their moment, and they did bottle it.
I agree, but partly that was because he had such a young squad, I think. His squad was so inexperienced at that stage.
And when you look at how Leicester ended up, they were never really in it anyway. It looked like they were, but actually, they just played really, really well to get...
Finished 10 odd points behind it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they needed Leicester to drop points as well, so I kind of feel like
it's the fact that
I'd be reluctant to say they bottled it.
Once they've kind of lost that lead, they went to pot. I mean, they absolutely fell apart at Chelsea.
But do you think if you were to give him
third in a two-horse race,
they're quite nasty.
Let's say if he went to Bayern Munich or Barcelona now, I would back him to win the Champions League. I really would back him to win the Champions League.
If he went to Bayern Munich now, I cannot imagine how good they'd be. I cannot imagine, because they all know how to press. Obviously, they played under Pep, and they did it under Heinkes to some extent. Like, I would love to see him get a chance at a club like that. Of course, as well, he said he wouldn't go to Barcelona, but you could see him going to Real Madrid, and he played for PSG back in the day, so maybe he'll go there one day. Who knows?
I agree. But who do you guys at home think is the best manager in the Premier League? Let us know in the comments right now. Loads of people in the comments have been asking this question, and it's a topical one. Lads, how will the FA recover from their humiliation caused by the Eni Aluko scandal? Now, it is a sensitive subject. What do you boys know about it?
Eni Aluko is, she plays for England's women's national team. Okay, she's got over 100 caps. And basically she alleged that the England manager, Mark Sampson, had made racist comments to her. He'd said when she had relatives coming over from Nigeria, I believe, he said, make sure they don't bring Ebola here. He also asked another player, I think, how many times she'd been arrested. So he had a bit of a track record of making racist comments. Now, he was defended by a bunch of people at the time. You might have seen there was a point in an England game where
the whole team
went and celebrated a goal around him, which was kind of a crazy thing to happen. And essentially there's been an investigation, and it's turned out that Eni Aluko was right, that all her allegations were correct and well-founded, and that he had a bit of a track record. Bad behaviour before, I think, when he was at Bristol Academy.
They hadn't really done a background check on him when they hired him for the FA job, and I think that's the thing that the FA have messed up on. And this is the third time Eni Aluko has tried to get this out, but she's just qualified as a lawyer.
That's crazy.
And she's absolutely bossed it. She's done all of this herself. She's
good on her.
She's won a battle, and she's won it really well.
I mean, the FA though, institutionally, it's all gone wrong. It's been a terrible few years for them. I think Glenn Clark, is it Greg Clark? Greg Clark. Obviously the FA chairman. He said he should have been sacked 4 years ago or never appointed.
Yeah, never appointed.
How absolutely incredible is that the FA chairman can say
that? The FA are sort of acting like they didn't know and it was a mistake and all this stuff. But the FA also behaved horribly in this. Okay, so at one point, I can't remember who it was, but one of the FA executives essentially had a meeting with Eni Aluko in which he said that they would give her a cash settlement, basically pay her hush money if she released a statement saying that the FA was not institutionally racist.
It's insane.
And also, I think the barrister who investigated it, who's ultimately kind of like substantiated Aluko's claims, I don't think she's behaved badly as well, because in her report she said that Mark Sampson said racist things but is not a racist, and I'm not really sure what sort of important distinction there is there. It's just like, if you say racist things at work, you're going to be treated as a racist, and so you should be. Like, it doesn't really. It's not the barrister's job to kind of look into his heart and see if he actually hates people of other races. It's a job to work out. It's a job to work out whether he's done things which are inappropriate or offensive or whatever. And clearly he has.
And I mean, the FA. This isn't their first sort of cock up in the last few years, is it? Of course, let's not forget the Sam Allardyce scandal, in which he was found to have basically sold some secrets to a newspaper, effectively. Was that what it was?
Something like that.
Something like
he was going to sell access.
Sell access to a player or something like that.
But this is going on a lot at the moment. Like, everybody in football talks a good game about keeping racism out of the game, and it's absolute bull. Right? So the Scottish FA have got Malky Mackay taking care of the national team now. Malky Mackay, who of course lost his job at Cardiff because texts emerged in which he said horrendously racist and sexist things, but now he's totally fine. He's managing his national team. Mark Sampson has been allowed to keep his job for God knows how long, despite the fact that it seems that at Bristol Academy he might have been.
There was an ongoing investigation. Ongoing investigation that apparently Glenn and Sampson either didn't tell them or the FA didn't know about. How can you not know about an ongoing investigation when you're hiring an England manager? Yeah. It's an absolute shambles from the FA. At this stage, I don't know how they can correct it other than get rid of Glenn.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you. Like, the question here is like how they recover from this humiliation. I'm not sure that they should be recovering from it.
Has to be institutional change.
Yeah, they have to completely kind of rip things up, probably clear out a bunch of old members of staff and start again. Because it's staggering, really. And Eni Aluka made a good point when she said, if this was somebody like Wayne Rooney, somebody of that standing in the men's game, who had over 100 caps for England, and he was treated in the way that she's been treated, then it would have been a huge issue. But they've essentially pushed her to the side and pretended she doesn't matter. She does matter. She's completely changed the face of English football, or at least hope that she will prove to have done so. And it's just, everybody involved should be ashamed of themselves, except for Eni Aluka.
I think the final victory for her will be playing for England again. It was like last April, the last game for England. Got kicked out of the team. She was told that she was lying.
Shocking.
And, so she's finally come around. She didn't play on Friday, but the new manager, Mo Marley, definitely, she wants to get her involved.
Good.
So
FA, sort your nonsense out. But there we go. The next question is another topical one. This one comes from Jaden Durant, who says, did Iniesta deserve his spot in the team of the year?
No.
Oh, the simple answer is no. The more interesting question is, build your own FIFA 11. We're going to try and do it right now. So, goalkeeper, where do we start? There's only one man, there's only one place, and it has to be David De Gea.
You're being ridiculous. It's Gigi Buffon. It's Gigi Buffon.
But you're doing that based on...
He won another double, like he went to the Champions League final, like he's the greatest goalkeeper of all time, like, and he had a sensational year.
I'll give you Gigi Buffon.
I'll give you Gigi Buffon. Fewer goals than Man United did, partially because they've got a great defence, which I'm sure we'll go on to, but come on.
Yeah, okay, we'll give you Gigi Buffon. Right back, Danny Carvajal for me.
Oh, we're going for a 4-3-3 then, same as the FIFA Pro 11.
Yeah, let's go for
4-3-3. I'm going Danny Carvajal.
I think Dani Alves has got a shout, I don't know if I've seen somebody have as good a pair of semi-final performances as he did.
He was exceptional, Dani Alves.
He was kind of playing on the wing, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Maybe that's cheating.
It's hard because he was dominating.
He wasn't really in a 4, was he? He's more of a wing back, and like you say, very, very advanced in that side. Yeah. I think Danny Carvajal consistently throughout the course of the season didn't put a foot wrong really for Madrid.
If you're asking which one would you take, I'd take Carvajal. Just for the fact that he does both.
I would take that. We're talking about last season.
I mean from last season.
I think Danny Carvajal is the best right back in the world. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Right, Danny Carvajal, central defenders.
Bonucci.
Tough one.
Bonucci has to be in there.
Okay, Bonucci, is he going to be our only Juventus centre half?
Yeah. I think that
because Chiellini and Barzagli were phenomenal.
God, they were. I mean, Barzagli made that incredible tackle on Isco in the Champions League.
Barzagli, in particular, an absolute underrated giant at Juventus. Chiellini and Bonucci get all of the plaudits. Barzagli plods along in his OAP home. and he just keeps making blocks, keeps making tackles.
I think the other centre back probably has to be Ramos, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think
It does.
It
Just for the
frustrates me
match-winning
to say.
performances.
Yeah, he's
Not potentially, he probably isn't the best defender we could find, central defender. But in terms of impact on big games, it's
Definitely.
hard to deny that Sergio Ramos is a phenomenon from central defence. He, like we say, he's not the best classical defender, not the best tackler, not the best positionally, but he is a phenomenal.
He brings
impactor.
a lot more than just defence to a team as well.
Yeah, his goals.
Big game goals
Yeah,
as well.
big game
Even
goals.
got Cuadrado sent off in the Champions League final as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cheeky.
also I think that when I look at Real Madrid, I don't really think their defence is particularly sophisticated. I
No.
think most of the time it's like we get in position and then we rely on pretty much two guys, Casemiro and Sergio Ramos, just to deal with situations as they come up.
Yeah.
And he's phenomenal at that.
Yeah,
Left back I
100%
think is
left
easy
back.
though, right?
Has to be Marcelo.
Has to be Marcelo.
Has to be Marcelo.
No
So
doubt about it.
Our back line looks like Carvajal, Bonucci, Ramos, Marcelo. Lots of Madrid in there. Lots of Madrid. We're stepping into midfield now.
All right.
Now, this is where it was controversial on social media. They put in Iniesta. He's nowhere near our team, surely, gents. Can't
Last
be.
season, though.
I think Thiago Alcantara has to
Yeah.
be in there.
Oh, he was pretty damn good.
This is
Phenomenal.
Otherwise,
What
we're just going
player.
to have a full Real Madrid team because I think Modric and Toni Kroos have to be in there too. I mean, the only other candidates, Thiago, Naby Keita.
Kante, N'Golo Kante moving in his first season to Chelsea, producing a fantastic season.
Oh, I don't know.
Premier League winner. I have to admit as well with Kante is that I was really surprised at how good his passing ability was and his passing range for
Yeah.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
It's funny that he stepped up as well. We thought we got a quality player who went into Chelsea, and he stepped up even further. But
So let's say we can only have one of the Madrid midfielders.
Modric.
Only one.
Only one of them.
Modric. I agree, Modric.
Okay, so we'll have Modric in there alongside
I'm happy with Thiago. I'll accept
Thiago. And are you disagreeing on Kante?
No, I'd say if we're only having one Real Madrid midfielder, I'd say Kante.
I'm tempted by Khedira.
I
really am.
I can't have
The guy was absolutely sensational last season. Or I don't know. There's got to be somebody else we're forgetting. I mean, even Kevin De Bruyne.
Not last season though. Not last season.
No, quietly had an incredible season. Didn't he get 18 assists in the league?
Not to the degree of.
Kante.
Yeah, I'd say. And I think this season, if he's not considered, if he can carry on the way he is, he has to be considered as he's one of the best three. But last season, I think Kante did have a better season.
Yeah,
I'd also think about a Nainggolan. I really
not for
would.
me. Not for me. I just don't.
They're great. You can't deny he's a great player, but if we top three, I don't
Top
see him
three.
coming in.
All right, I'll let you have it.
So we're going to go for our midfield of Kante, Thiago Alcantara, and we are putting Luka Modric
I mean,
in there.
Naby Keita is better than Kante, but sure. Let's carry
Oh.
on. Let's carry on.
Forward line, two of them are going to be easy. We have to put Cristiano Ronaldo in there,
All right.
and we have to put Lionel Messi in there.
Yeah.
But who's the third? Who did they have on the FIFA one? Who was the
It
striker?
was Neymar.
It was Neymar.
It's hard.
Yeah, neither am I
sure
actually.
about
I thought
Neymar.
Benzema had a better season than Neymar.
Benzema is an option.
Griezmann's
We've
always an
got-
option. We've got Lewandowski, Aubameyang.
I hate to say it, Harry Kane as an option.
Oh God, Harry Kane.
I know Harry Kane is potentially probably not going to make our three, but he's in with a shout.
Yeah, he's
Back-to-back
definitely up
Golden Boots in the Premier League is no mean feat.
How about
especially at
Mbappe?
Tottenham Hotspur.
there.
Oh,
Mbappe,
Kylian.
Yeah.
We've got no
Kylian.
Monaco players in.
We haven't got, and they were a phenomenon last season.
You know
He
what?
was the star.
I
though.
think Kylian.
I think
that's
I will
not
say Mbappe.
Yeah,
I'm
I
happy
will
with
as well.
Mbappe.
I'm happy with that.
Messi, Ronaldo, and Mbappe. So our 11: Buffon, Carvajal, Bonucci, Ramos, Marcelo, Kante, Thiago, Modric, Messi, Ronaldo, and Mbappe. What a team that would be. But what would be your FIFA World Team of the Year? Let us know in the comments below. The final question of the day, a slightly more personal one. This one comes from Entvai, great pronunciation, who says, what has been your club's biggest mistake in recent times? Pato, do you want to lead us off? Because Arsenal have made a ton.
I mean, I think if we bought Gonzalo Higuain, we'd have probably won the league. I think if we bought Luis Suarez, we'd have won the league.
Really?
Yeah. But I think I'll go for selling Van Persie to United.
Yeah.
He basically handed Ferguson that final title, pretty much did it on his own. And the thing is, he hadn't had a great creator behind him. In that last season at Arsenal, he scored over 30 goals, despite the fact that the best creator behind him was Alex Song. The next season, we brought in Santi Cazorla.
Oh,
But Van Persie was gone. So imagine if you'd had Pete Cazorla playing behind Van Persie. I genuinely think we would have won the league that year. The other thing might be, and then I think if he'd won the league, Wenger might have been more willing to leave, which is also another problem.
Which is a big mistake for you.
Having Wenger more contracts, that has been an error.
But you can't keep making the same mistake. What's that saying?
Yeah, we can.
Keep making the same mistake. It's the definition of madness. Something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, supposedly, like doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
That's the definition of
But
madness.
that's exactly what we do. every
Literally
season.
hand Wenger a new contract every single season. For me,
ridiculous.
it's the succession planning post Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
Absolutely atrociously handled by Manchester United. Obviously, at that stage, under Ferguson, we were probably the biggest club in the world, and to have no plan for when the mastermind that made you the biggest club in the world left, it was an absolute shambles. Not only did he leave, our chief executive, David Gill, left as well, who was a massive part of the club. You left both of those at the same time. We had Ferguson turning up to David Moyes' house to tell him he'd got the Manchester United job, which is just nowhere near good enough. I mean, goodness gracious me. David Moyes then comes in, doesn't he? Gets rid of the entire backroom staff,
And the
all
squad
of the
was-
scouts.
The squad was in a ropey situation.
Yeah,
as well.
dearie me. And then we didn't get our principal targets. There was rumours that we were going to get in Gareth Bale. It never happened. And poor David Moyes had to fall on his sword eventually. I almost feel sorry for Moyes because it was so badly planned. He was never the right man to take the position. The transfers were poor. His decision-making behind the scenes in getting rid of the assistant managers, the coaches, and replacing them with Phil Neville and the Chelsea and the Everton backroom staff was an absolute shambles. So for me, obviously succession planning at Manchester United, but Man City, have you made a mistake in recent times?
We've made a few. I think I've been struggling with this question. I think one that I've kind of recently just kind of popped into my head is when Pellegrini came in, not bringing Isco with him is a big one.
It's a great shout.
Because there was a famous picture of him in a City shirt.
Isco?
And it got us all excited. Oh my God, he likes City, he's going to come. You know, at that time he was kind of showing his potential as one of the, potentially amazing midfielder, which he's now showing at Real Madrid. We obviously had the finances, we had his previous manager that was playing him well. I think another one could be getting rid of Dzeko. But I think that it's kind of worked in his favour.
And you've also got Gabby Jesus now.
Yeah, I think both of these problems are not too bad now in our current state.
Yeah.
But I think at the time, Isco in our team right now would be an absolute revelation.
Where would he play in that Man City team, Isco? Wouldn't get in over De Bruyne, would he?
Yeah, but I mean, they went and got Bernardo Silva this summer.
Yeah, he don't play.
Isco would have definitely played. Isco would have played instead.
Surely would have played.
But right now it's not a problem. But before we had Kevin De Bruyne hitting the heights he is now, he would have fit next to David Silva. Would have been amazing.
Are there any other massive mistakes you can think clubs have made in recent times?
Clubs in general.
Clubs in general. I think potentially Barcelona's handling of Pep Guardiola was very, very poor.
Barcelona not playing Thiago enough to raise his buyout clause from
definitely.
18 million euros to 90 million euros.
Yeah, very poor.
That was pretty bad.
Barcelona have made a few basic ones, I would say.
They've been making a lot.
Yeah, their
recently.
signings.
Yeah, their signings are awful.
Yeah.
The backroom situation at Bayern Munich under Uli Hoeneß and the tax fraud scandal, not particularly positive
Arsenal's summer the season before Leicester won the league. Arsenal actually put up incredible numbers that season, but the only signing they made the summer before was Petr Cech. They didn't sign a single outfield player. If they'd got one or two more players, you have to think they would have been able to, at the very least, challenge Leicester more closely for the title.
Yeah, I would agree. But what's your club's biggest ever mistake for the third time in the day? Let us know in the comments below. So that's all we've got time for on this episode of Sunday Vibes. If you want to be involved next week, use the hashtag Sunday Vibes with your question in the comments below. Pato, what is happening on 90+1, our new channel this week?
90+1 fact this week, we have Jose Mourinho following hot on the heels of Pep Guardiola, as he normally does.
Yeah.
All the interesting facts you could possibly want to know about the special one.
And also, it's a big game on Sky Sports. It's already happened, Manchester United vs Tottenham. Let's quickly get some predictions on the result. James Wayne.
At Old Trafford.
At Old Trafford, I'm going to say 2-1 Tottenham.
2-1 Tottenham.
I'm going to agree. 2-1 Tottenham.
I'm going to go for 0-0. Jose Mourinho.
Classic.
Ballfest.
Classic Mourinho.
Bye.